Okay, it's good. Okay, welcome. Here we are, the first episode of, I don't even know what it's called. Okay, here we go. Welcome to the very first episode of It's All Okay podcast. I'm your host, Taylor, and today I'm joined by one of my best friends, Morgan, who was brave enough to come on the show. Thanks for joining us. Today I'm going to... You can't! It's so good! So Morgan is going to take on the lovely job of asking me some questions so you guys get to know who I am and why I'm here. And then we'll get to meet Morgan later down the line and do the same thing for her. We haven't had power for 4 days. So welcome to our first episode recording with power. You're welcome. Although we haven't recorded an episode without power. Yeah. So
we were supposed to record this 4 days ago.
We were supposed to record this 4 days ago.
Now you leave for Mexico tomorrow, so.
Yeah, we had Armageddon, and now we're here. So.
Make sure to bring my dad back his extension cord.
Yeah. It's all coiled up for you at the back door.
Perfect. He'll be so pleased. Ripped it right off the garage roof.
What a dedicated man to helping me. Let me just say that. Shout out to fucking Papa Chiz. I asked this man for a whole power cord, and this man... 2 foot nothing, literally rips it off his Christmas lights. Mind you, Christmas was like 86 months ago, but this man was so dedicated to helping us out that he literally just dead ass ripped it off his roof.
Half in the bag.
You know what?
Actually, no, fully in the bag. Owns property in the bag.
Didn't even wash his hands. Just fucking took a whiz, shook it, ripped the lights down and gave me the cord. I'm like, thank you for your pee germs.
I was holding 97 items in my hands and had to wrap it up with my body.
You did. I did watch that occur. It was amazing. Under the blissful headlights.
And then I went and ate 14 Timbits.
Yeah, weren't they so good? So good. They were. Have you ever had a warm Timbit? I did for my first time the other day, and it was literally the best thing I ever tasted.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Would do again.
Honestly, yeah. I also have ADHD, and I keep playing with my fingers, and that's going to be a real eye.
I'm playing with my shirt.
Just eat me out here with my fidget toys. Definitely need a few of those.
Sit here with fidget spinners.
I don't know how most podcasters just sit there, like, they just sit and chill. Like, I need something to do.
I need something to do. I need some color.
Yeah.
That'd be so fun.
Yeah. Things, I think, flow better if you're, like, doing something. Well, for me anyways, in my brain. Like, is it weird to podcast standing up? Because, like, I feel like that could be a thing.
The whole video would just be us swaying back and forth. Swaying side to side.
Yeah, like our wedding video. I literally swayed side to side for the entire 25 minutes that we were up on the podium.
I'm surprised you just strap a fan to your inner thigh.
I really regretted not. Yeah. Yeah. I did.
I was like, at one point, I was like, do I need to, like, give her a seat?
I honestly, at one point, debated needing a seat. I was very close to asking Grace to huck me a chair.
Kick someone out of their seat and be like, Jay needs it.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was the best day ever.
Don't wear a ball gown if you run warm.
No, you pretty much need to just get married in your birthday suit if you run warm. Birthday suit in the middle of winter.
Yep.
Perfect temperature. Your pubes may have icicles, but that's fine.
They kept the reception place nice and cold, though. So it was nice. Not cold, but like it was.
Well, that room that we got married in was more for like 200 people.
Yeah.
The minimum that you were required to have in that room is 120. Mm-hmm. So like the space that we had for the 100 people that showed was quite large. Mm-hmm. But now picture having 200 plus people in that room. It would be schwitzing.
Yeah. All the body heat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fun. And they had a fire going.
Yeah, but like pretty much our friends have the energy of 200 people. So it really felt like that.
I think that might have actually been the best night of my life.
I literally went figure skating in my wedding dress in people's pee on the ground. It was amazing. We'll never forget.
I woke up the next morning with blisters on every part of my feet, but it was totally worth it.
It was amazing. 10 out of 10 recommend getting married in the winter. To a woman specifically.
Oh, the walk out to the shuttle?
I'm pretty sure the snow was above my kneecaps.
Dude, I was barefoot at one point. Yeah. My shoes were not. You went barefoot at one point.
Julia literally took off her shoes. I was like, she's like, babe, it's really slippy. And I was like, so take off your shoes.
The bottom of our shoes had zero traction.
My favorite part of my wedding night was sitting in the shower after the entire wedding was done and complete, was sitting in the shower with my wife, taking out my extensions and all my bobby pins. We literally sat on the floor in the shower under the hot water for like an hour and just debriefed on our whole wedding day. 10 out of 10 would recommend to any 2020 plus brides, 2025 plus brides, to have a shower debrief with whoever they marry, because it literally was the best thing ever.
Yeah.
We debriefed on the whole entire night.
Because the whole night you're so busy that you don't even really like have a moment to talk to each other. You spend a lot of time together,
Ask
but
me
not
what we talked about. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I was hammered, but like,
dude, I've never seen you drunk before. That was well, I've seen you tipsy. Never seen you like that before.
We had a hoot.
You came up to me screaming at one point.
Probably it was so loud in there.
No, it was. I was just chilling at a table with. We'll call him Ben.
A name we shall not name.
We'll call him Ben. You came up to me screaming.
Ben's a good name, so maybe a different name, like Igor.
I just was trying to keep the first letter the same.
Great. May as well just call him Bronson. That's my baby list name.
This is actually not. I got into a domestic after your wedding.
You know what? That doesn't surprise me.
But that's a story for a different episode.
It is. At least the bed was too heavy to pick up and throw at you. At least you had Jake in your room.
Oh, I felt so bad for him. I felt so fucking bad for him.
Why are we just hearing about this domestic now?
No, I swear I've told you guys.
Well, we'll save that for your episode.
Yeah. It was so funny. I felt so bad for Jake. Jake and I sat in his bed until like 4 a.m. playing Wordle after because it was so bad.
Yeah. Seems about right.
Yeah.
That checks out for that situation.
I didn't even want to be in bed with him. I was like, Jake, I'm infiltrating your space. I'm so sorry.
I'm sleeping with Jake.
We played lots of Wordle and I sobbed.
Did you rub your arm?
No.
We love you, Jake. If you're watching this.
We fucking better be.
We love you. You're a comforting being. And we adore you for that. Anne is a very lucky woman.
She is. Also rude that she hasn't come here yet.
You know what? I don't think she wants to meet us anyways.
Yeah.
So.
Didn't want to meet her.
And if you're watching this, you don't even want to meet us.
Perfect.
So this episode is about getting to know me so that the viewers kind of have a little bit of a background, historical background on who I am. And so that's why Morgan's here, because Morgan's really good at doing this stuff. And
clearly.
Yeah. So we'll just cut the awkward out of that and then we'll just continue with this part now forward.
Yeah, perfect. My first question that I have for you is why a podcast?
Oh, my wife made me. No. I actually had a realization the other day and I was talking to my wife about this and I was like, you know, babe, I think that a podcast would be really good for me because I've always, even through elementary school, high school, I was always in drama. Mm-hmm. So when I look back on the photo albums that my mom and grandma did for me when I was a kid, I was always in like the talent shows and the elementary school plays and the choir. LOL, laugh at me because I was in the fucking choir. It's fine. I was always on stage as a kid. And then through my teenage years in high school, I also was part of theatrical productions. And that's a really big word. You should probably cut that out because it's weird. It's unnatural for me to use that word, but it's fine. I digress. I was in several plays as a high school student, and when I became an adult, I stopped performing and being on stage. And I think that a big part of me has always wanted to work on healing my inner child. Like I think a vast majority of the population should work on healing their inner child, but that's for another topic. And I think part of healing my inner child is to continue to put myself on stage. And so this is one way that I can do that without actually being on stage in front of hundreds of people, because that actually kind of makes me want to throw up now.
Yeah.
I think I would rather do this with my wife giggling at me behind the light that I can see. I can just see her like behind the light over there every now and again. And like, that's good enough for me. And then having her edit and post everything, and do all the behind the scenes stuff for me, that is stuff I'm not into. Like, I think that's why I chose the podcast. Julia brought it up several years ago, and we've always talked about it since, and we've just never pulled the trigger. And I'm like, you know what? Why not? Mm-hmm. And part of my why not, because I could expand on that, is because I'm scared of people judging me. And the reality is people are going to judge you. You can't please everybody in this world, and you're not going to be liked by everybody. And the reality is it's their loss if they don't like me and don't want to be a part of my life. And it's my gain, because then it just makes room for more people to fill the space that I have.
Absolutely.
For people. So that's why I podcast, because I think that I deserve to be on stage. So here we are.
I think you're a hoot. So I think
so much.
Anyone who gets to watch that is
you guys are lucky. Pretty much honored.
No, you are like a great human being to be like to have in your life.
That's so nice.
So I think it's nice that if we do get viewers and people actually watch,
we're gonna have at least 10. I have 10 fans.
Yep.
I can name them all right now.
All our closest friends.
But I won't. Just note that.
No.
So
no one will.
I'll just be a corpse in the ground. Disclaimer, I would like to be cremated, I think. But I actually haven't made that decision. But I think the cremation would be interesting. Then like all my 10 fans can take little bits of me and spread me around if they want.
I kind of want to be turned into compost or like mulch. And then
that
planted with a tree.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah. That tree, with my luck, would probably get struck by lightning every year.
It would definitely get destroyed by the ice storm for sure.
100%.
Karma's coming for you, afterlife.
As soon as one branch fucking grows off my tree, it's snapping off.
Your tree won't even have the stability to sustain ice. It'll just droop.
No, every leaf that grows immediately falls off.
It's gonna come with a fungus for sure.
You know those trees that you see like a villain from a Disney movie? It's just struggling every day.
Oh
God. Your podcast, I know you, based on the title, kind of plays into what you want to focus on a lot in your episodes. Do you want to expand on that and like why you're choosing to have such a kind of like set category around your channel?
Yeah. So again, my wife picked the title.
But why did she pick that title?
She picked the name of the title because of her bussin' friend Matt and his bussin' song. It's all okay. No, to be honest, I am a person who likes to focus on things being all okay in the end. Everything does work out and things will always all be okay. You'll have blips in time where things feel like they're not okay, but if you actually take a step back and look at your life from like an external lens, everything is always okay. And I want the audience that we do build here to know that it's all okay and everything will be okay. And there are days and times where, like I just said, it doesn't feel like it is going to be, but there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. It just depends on how willing you are to search for it.
Mm-hmm. I feel like it's also nice to have I always like when I can see people on social media kind of going through things and like airing out their hot mess.
Yeah, like I like the authenticity of people.
Yeah. And it almost like I wish podcasting and talking about things that you typically don't talk about outside of like maybe just your closest friends. Like I wish that was more of a thing when I was in like high school or even just like 20 years old.
Yeah. It's almost therapeutic in a way.
It is. It's just nice knowing that like there's people going through worse things.
Yeah. And your worst thing could be worse than my worst thing, but it's my worst thing is my worst thing.
Yeah.
And your worst thing will always be your worst thing.
Yeah.
But I like knowing that other people are going through similar things as me. And not a lot of people put that on the internet because there's a lot of mean people who sit behind keyboards and it's wild to me.
Yeah.
But it's hard to find people who will be authentically themselves. And so I think that offering a space for people to be authentically them is a good thing to have. Like the whole world is online now, and younger generations are growing up connected as young as they're able to hold a tablet. That's connected.
Yeah.
And I think if they are able to access people who have authentic stories, that it could help them and shape them into better human beings growing up.
100%. So with the being vulnerable side of your channel, one of my questions, because obviously you are married to a woman.
Yes.
You also did have kind of a late coming out.
I did.
Also not a very like traditional, like sitting down with your parents being like, so what was coming out like for you? And what did you learn from that? How did it?
So as far back as I can remember, I always was attracted to women. But when I was a kid, I was born in 93. So when I was a kid, being gay or being lesbian or bisexual or any of the other terms in that umbrella was never spoken about. It was always boys and girls, and that was it. And nobody really educated anybody on the fact that that could even be a thing. But when I was a kid, I always remember having like crushes on like my neighbors and some friends in school. And then you get into the experimental ages, and I definitely did a lot of experimenting with girls, but because there was no education or title to it, it just like I never thought anything of it. I just because it was never spoken about. It was never a topic of conversation.
Yeah.
And then when I went into high school, I did date a couple of guys, and some of the experiences were great. And when I got out of college, I had another experience with a guy, which was not so great. But during that not so great experience, I met a woman who literally swept me off my feet, and I dragged her along for several years. And then one day I was like, I don't know why I'm doing this to myself and why I'm doing this to her, more importantly, when like deep in my soul, I knew that I loved her. And it wasn't until I was about probably 18 or 19 that people actually started talking about like gay, lesbian, bisexual people. And so it wasn't until that age that I was like, oh, there's like, this is actually like, it can be a thing. So like I said, like I didn't really make a big deal about it for myself. And like my friends were never like, oh, you're a lesbian. And cause like, it just wasn't a thing. But when I was 26, I was like, you know what? I think that I'm bisexual, and that's okay. And I don't remember very clearly, but I remember picking up the phone and letting a couple of my relatives know that I think it was around like Thanksgiving, or something, or maybe it was Christmas. But I remember getting an invite to a family dinner on my mom's side. And I remember asking like, oh, can I please bring my girlfriend? And the response was absolutely. Thank you for telling us. Like, we're so happy for you. And so like, I don't really remember like having this grandiose, like Facebook post, I'm bisexual. Woohoo. Like, I can't even remember the actual day that I was like, I'm bisexual, but I know that I was 26, and I know it was around the fall. And I know that I let the important people in my life know that like, this was me and this is who I am. And I did have a couple of family members who probably weren't the most comfortable with it, just based on their reaction to me. Like, so, but like looking back on it, I don't remember it being like a traumatic experience telling people that I was bisexual. But yeah, 26. So that was almost, I guess it was 7 years ago. Yeah. So 6 years ago. because I'll be 32 this year. So yeah, 6 years ago, and never looked back. So if you're scared of coming out, come out. Best thing you will ever do for yourself. And that's what I think, looking back on it, I need to remember is like, I did it for me.
Yeah. And you grew up in I wouldn't say super religious, but kind of a.
Yeah. Like when I was young, like I was baptized and, like I wouldn't say that my household was like strict religion, but like definitely at grandparents' house, on my dad's side of the family, like they prayed at every meal. So that was standard for me growing up in that household. And, you know, on my mom's side, like we didn't practice that. And so it was, but yeah, I don't really know how to expand on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, one side of my family is definitely more religious than the other. So you can just assume for yourself that the more religious side is, I wouldn't say they're not accepting, but they're probably not as, I guess maybe they're not as open.
Yeah.
They're traditional people.
Yeah.
So like man and woman is traditional.
Yeah.
And if you don't grow up around that and you are not given the opportunity to see that love is love, then you might have different feelings and opinions around a same-sex marriage.
Yeah.
And I think that this is just me assuming, but I just think that that may resonate with several people on the religious side of my family. So, and that's their choice and it doesn't bother me. It just makes room for more people who love and accept me for who I am. And that's just, it's not a bad thing. I have no ill will. I have no ill feelings. I'm just, it is what it is. I can't change it. And like I said, it's just me assuming. So just based on actions and treatment that I've had. But yeah, that's that.
And around when you were 18 and you kind of started being more comfortable with the idea of like, okay, what would you now at 31 tell 18-year-old Taylor about anything? What would you, anything?
Just fucking go, girl. Just be you and do your thing and don't care about what anybody else thinks, even though that's literally the one thing every day that I care about so much and so deeply is what everybody else thinks of me. But I would really try to say, like, do you. Do what makes you happy, because at the end of the day, like, you have to live with yourself and nobody else is there to pick you up but yourself. And so, like, be happy. And if being with a woman makes you happy, then do it. Yeah. You know? So
allowing yourself to be like the best version of yourself.
Yeah. Like, be authentically you.
Yeah.
And I feel like if I had have been authentically myself for all of those years, I probably wouldn't be as damaged as I am now.
Yeah.
Not that I'm like fucking out
breaking
here,
at the seams,
literally cracking open fucking sinkhole over here, because I'm not. But what I'm trying to say is, like, I probably wouldn't have as much trauma and
probably resentment,
lack of self-worth that I have now, you know? And I've come leaps and bounds since I first met you. Yeah, like which was not a great experience. You know what? We will not go there until your episode, Morgan. Yeah, so just add that into the compilation that you're gonna make. And that one too. It'll be really good for you. Yeah, it'll be really validating for all my college friends. But yeah, that's probably what I would tell myself, is just go be authentically you and try not to be scared of what anybody else thinks of you. Because at the end of the day, like, you really are the only person that picks you up. Like, you have to pick you up at the end of the day. Yeah. Yes, you have support systems and people that love and cheer you on, but at the end of the day, you have to pick yourself up. So
absolutely.
And we're back. Thank you to our no sponsors of the video. That was an ad break for future ads.
I didn't want to get yelled at.
What were we talking about?
Being authentically yourself.
No. Oh, I thought you were going to ask another question.
I am.
Okay.
Because it kind of goes into my next question.
I might need mitts and a scarf in a minute. It's cold down here.
If you didn't keep your house set to 12 degrees all the time.
Listen, it's not my fault.
I like it.
I'll turn the heat up.
I'm quite comfy. What is this? Oh.
What was that? A hair?
Piece
hail.
of string.
It was a hail.
A hail.
Oh, it's on eco mode. No wonder it's cold. It's fucking 66 in here. Brr, it's cold. Okay, we're going to be warm in 5 minutes. Then we're going to be switzing. Oh, the heat register's right there, but it's closed. So
it'll trickle out.
Well, yeah.
Very gradually. No, our last conversation kind of led me into my next question of when do you feel like you are the best version of yourself? What makes you, like, when do you feel like you are completely yourself?
Oh.
When do you feel like this, your safest space or whatever? Like,
definitely with my friends.
Yeah.
Like, we have the friend group called the Chunky Donkeys, and if you're not part of it, don't have FOMO, but you might want to have FOMO because we're pretty amazing. But it's my childhood best friend, Grace, Morgan, and my wife, Julia, which Morgan and Julia have been literal friends since birth. So 25 years this year. Morgan was born first, so she is older, and her breasts will sag for before Julia's, but
they
that's
already
okay.
are.
Actually, both your tits are already sagging, so it's literally fine.
Thriving. Southeast, southwest. When I lay on my back, east and west.
What were you saying? Oh, when I'm authentically myself, yes.
You feel like the best version of yourself.
The best version of myself is definitely with my friends. Like, we have a pretty good group of friends.
We do.
I would say. And, you know, if you can be your authentic self around them, like, those are your people. Mm-hmm. And I am not afraid to say anything, do anything, wear anything, not wear anything, be anything. I don't hold in. You guys are my people. And so that's when I feel like I'm 100% authentically myself. Mm-hmm. So you know the real me, and you're welcome.
I love it. Because I've seen lots of different sides of you, like at work versus with family, and then on our girls' nights and stuff. And yeah, they're all different people. But the version of you on girls' night
that's my authentic self.
I would be concerned if it wasn't, because that'd be crazy. If there was more to you than that.
There could be.
That'd be crazy.
I'm also my authentic self around my wife. Like, I am not afraid to show her any emotion, have a rage, have a tantrum, be sad, be happy, be silly. You know, like, I am 100% myself. Mm-hmm. So, like, the parts of me that you don't necessarily get to see are, like, my rage. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that is, like, a year or so ago, I had such a depressive episode that I literally lost every brain cell in my entire brain. And the only person to witness that was my wife. Mm-hmm. And I don't know that I ever spoke about it since.
You guys really compliment each other really well,
too. Wow, that was an explosion.
Yeah.
So she definitely gets the full authentic version of me.
For sure.
But you guys get the authentic version.
I feel like she's the best person to handle that too.
She is. She's very gentle, very patient, very kind, very demure.
Demure. Is that still a thing?
I just made it a thing.
Very demure.
It's very demure. Don't blush. Do you need a tissue? For your tears?
You crying?
For your tears of joy?
That's a nice thing she said to you all week.
Rude. No, I didn't. That was not the only nice thing I said to you. I said you're sexy. That's nice. Yeah.
That sounds pretty nice.
Whatever, Morgan. Don't gag at our love.
When I eventually find one similar, I'll stop.
Yeah, and then I'll do it back to you. Actually, you're dismissed from picking your next love.
I think
we're going to have to sit on a panel of judges.
I was just about to say, interview them. We need to start a group chat called the Council.
Yeah.
And anytime I meet someone new that I'm like, it's probably going to pursue something, I just need to like send you guys like a...
No, not you. We're going to go directly to the source. We don't need you to fabricate
on my
anything.
First date with him before I leave, I'm be like, okay, so if you can just fill out this application really quick,
yeah.
Please be expecting a call within the next 48 hours from my associates.
Yeah, exactly.
If that scares him off, then it wasn't meant to be.
Exactly.
If he's ready for the panel of judges, then that's one green flag. Green flag. Don't know what that is.
You don't know how to find those.
Dude, I look at red flags like they're confetti.
Oh, buddy. You do. You look at red flags like they're a gender reveal party of all the same color. It's rough.
Like a bowl.
Literally. You're that bitch with guys who literally sees the red caution flag that flies when you go to an all-inclusive resort in the tropics because it's treacherous undertow. You're walking right in that bitch. Fucking flippers on, snorkel, goggles. You are geared the fuck up to disaster.
Just me and my vape against the world.
Oh, fuck yeah. For sure. You were going swimming with that red do not swim flag. For sure.
I'll get there eventually.
You definitely let him swim inside of you, that's for sure.
Ugh. I actually kind of had a crash a couple nights ago that like, I let men see me naked.
What?
Ew.
You don't even let us see it. You don't even let us see a titty, but you'll just whip them out to a whole stranger.
Dude. Ew.
You need to love yourself.
Men are so gross.
Be a lesbian.
No offense to all lesbians out there, but there's too many liquids.
What you need a trans. And let me explain this. You need a trans man.
Julia just lost it.
You need a trans man.
If you guys hear me refer to Jub, that's Julia. I don't call her Julia, so calling her Julia feels weird. Yeah. I just said Julia, and I was like...
For sure. You definitely need to let the audience know. Let me explain why I think you need a trans man. Okay. You need someone with the emotional intelligence of a female. So a trans man.
Yeah.
But that looks like a man. And has a dick.
Yeah.
So you need a fully transitioned. Fully transitioned. Thank you.
Trans man.
Man. And there's lots on TikTok. You may have to move across the world, but there is lots out there.
Guys, I'm moving to England.
Bottom surgery and all. But I think that you need the emotional intelligence of a female to be in a relationship with. So if there's any men out there who have the emotional intelligence of a female and you're single and are a construction worker and would like to have a child soon, please hit up our girl. I'm
trying to get married with 2 children by 30.
And I don't think that you should put
4 years.
A timeline on
I know.
I know.
I know I shouldn't put a timeline because
so quickly.
My timeline's already up by like a year or 2.
No, it's not. The new age to have children is between like 35 and 40.
Geriatric.
People are actually living their lives now. People don't die of the plague at 50. Like, we're living till 105 for sure.
I hope
we
not.
gotta fuck shit up in the old age homes, bitch.
Fuck, I hope not.
Oh, for sure.
In the old age home.
We gotta play scooters races.
They're walkers.
You better be there in the old age home with us.
Dude, I'll be the lady with the tennis balls on her walker.
Yeah. We want it all. What are we going to be like when we're old ladies? We're not going to have curlers.
Oh, you're going to catch me with my fucking blowout tool every morning going to fucking bingo.
Fucking right,
absolutely.
Bitch. Oh,
with my overgrown highlights and
my box tie.
Because Christine will be done by then. My hairdresser will be gone. My grown out highlights.
Yeah, you can't. You have to live till you're older because we got to fucked up in the old age homes.
Well, you're dying first.
No, not necessarily. Have you seen your luck? Sister, you're going to be struck by lightning probably before I do.
I have the worst luck ever.
No, you don't. It's just all in the way you look at it.
No, I know. I look at it as it's for the plot. It's character development. There's actually nothing wrong with it. But see, I feel like a lot of things happen to me that would probably like send people over the fucking edge. And like...
It's meant for you.
I feel like it's just... it happens to me so often where like whether it's a mild inconvenience or like a fucking like today, I would say that was quite a hefty inconvenience of my fucking week. But I feel like they happen so often that I'm just like, yeah, add that to the roster.
Yeah, character development. It's all.
That's all it is.
It's all for the plot.
That's all it is. Yep.
So
let's probably get back into my questions.
Yeah, I was liking them. Quite enjoying thoroughly.
My last question being, when do you feel the most lost to yourself? You answered that, which I don't actually know how that would bring me into my next one. My next question is, where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Oh,
what do you hope to see? What things do you like, experiences that you'd like in the next 10 years?
Sometimes I really hate this question.
I know.
Because then I feel like it sets an expectation for myself.
It's an awful question.
Yeah, like, I don't think that I'm about these questions. Like, that's... Just went flaccid on me. Turned it off.
Pop a Viagra.
Bad girl. That'll be $50 for that free entertainment.
She's gonna mute the audio, and to unlock it, you gotta pay a subscription fee.
Exactly.
Because I know that you guys have touched on wanting to travel in a van. You guys, there's a few things that you guys want to do. Do you?
Yeah. So with the most recent power outage that we've experienced, I'm not so sure that van life would be my jam. But like, I think it could be, but my wife was like, I don't think van life's for you if you can't survive this power outage. And here's the thing, with the power outage, like, inconveniently shut down our whole entire house. But when your whole entire house can literally be powered by a singular generator, like, that's a lot different. Like, think about it, right? Like, if we had a generator for van life as backup and solar power, like, that's your whole house that you're powering. Whereas when you have a house with multiple rooms and fridges and heating and all the things, like, and the power goes out, like, that's a big deal, you know? So like, I think van life is something that I've always wanted to try. People look at me, like, people meaning like my closest friends look at me and they're like, that's not for you. But there's something about it that I just love. And maybe
you love traveling.
Yeah, maybe it's the freedom of just being able to go wherever, whenever, and be in the sunshine. Because like, when I envision van life, I envision going to Baja, Mexico, and being on the beach for the winter. But that can also be done not in a van. You can fly to Baja and you can do an Airbnb, and it's more expensive, but like, there are... So anyways, back to your question, because I just went on a side tangent for I don't know what reason, but I was trying to justify why van life could be for me still. Anyways,
trying to convince yourself at this point.
Literally. So in 10 years, I do really dislike this question because I feel like it's making me set an expectation for myself, but without having an expectation in this very moment, knowing that things can change in 1 hour and by tomorrow, where I would see myself in 10 years, I really don't know how to answer that question. Career is super important to me. It always has been, always will be. So continuing to be in the stable career that I'm in now, or in a different one, is super important to me, to provide for my family. My family being my wife, because that's my family.
And your fur babies.
And my dogs. Our dogs. In terms of travel, I would love to continue to travel. Do I see us going overseas? Yes, but I also see like a girls' trip happening. You know, where we all pack
need
up,
one.
you know, and go.
Go fuck up a resort somewhere.
Yeah. So definitely travel, definitely still have a good career. I don't know, like maybe some renovations, maybe podcast full time. You know, what you put out to the universe, it can definitely be received. So maybe this turns into a full-time career. I'm not really sure, but definitely financial freedom is definitely something that I've always been working towards. So that was a really choppy way to answer your question with two ultimate things. Financial freedom and travel is where I see myself in 10 years. Also with an income property. My wife and I have always talked about having an income property where we're able to have that for some sort of retirement. So I think that could work into a 10-year plan as well. And yeah, just continuing to fucking enjoy life the way I know how, which is the only way I know how. So that was my answer for you.
I know it's such a shitty question, but I was like,
yeah, like people will sit there and be like, oh yeah, I want to have 4 kids. Yeah. Not my jam, I don't think. So
I felt like you would give a realistic answer without expectations. That's why I wanted to ask you that.
Like 1% of me is like kind of dabbles with the idea of adoption, but then I'm like, probably not. So, you know,
not for everybody.
But like the 1% is there. So like it's still a thought, still a fragment of my imagination. But probably not. I like getting my hair done and my nails done and buying things when you want and doing what I want when I want and sleeping in and not being disturbed at night. And vacations. I don't really like sharing my wife. So like picturing having a kid to share her with, I just don't know if I want that for myself.
Resent your child.
Yeah. So that's my 10-year where I see myself.
Nice.
Financial freedom, travel, maybe adoption. I don't really know.
I feel like most of your friends have kids, and then the ones that don't will. So I feel like that also kind of helps.
Yeah, like the ultimate thing is I'm a bussin' aunt. So if I'm your aunt, you're one lucky person.
I'm so excited for you two to be aunts to my children.
The reality is I have 47 godchildren. So if any one of my best friends decide that they're going to leave the earth in a really inconvenient way, then I literally have to open up an orphanage. So pretty much.
Hopefully they're not all on a trip somewhere and they all go down together, because then you will have 9 kids.
Yeah. So pretty much. I
will not make you guys my children's godparents.
That's rude.
I'm offended.
You literally said once that you will no longer accept that.
No.
Okay.
I must have been dropped that day. Dropped in my head.
You said I have too many god kids. I don't think I can handle anymore.
I could, for
and
sure.
I said, that's fine. I'll ask my brother.
I really only have 3.
Yeah.
That's still an orphanage.
That's enough.
You know?
Yeah. You start a singing group with that.
Yeah. A small choir.
Yeah. Altos and...
Yeah. Could definitely start a ping pong team. So only need 2 people for that and 1 sub.
We haven't bust out ping pong in a hot minute.
I know.
We should probably do that soon.
There's probably a reason for that.
Probably because I'm out of breath panting on the ground within 32 seconds. So it's fine.
Oh. I'm dead.
I have the never mind.
Can't even say the word athletic. Because you're so
clearly not in my vocabulary. Vocabulary. Neither's that one.
It's the lights. They do something weird to the speech.
I'm slowly melting my brain
cells.
That
ice cap has me tweaking. I need to take a jog around the block. Literally.
My last question has to do with future Taylor. And because I asked, what would you say to 18-year-old you? But is there anything you would ask 80-year-old you? Do you have any questions that you would want to just one question, anything?
Honey, you should have got a labiaplasty a long time ago. Just kidding. Gotta cut that out for sure. Absolutely not.
Did we ever go through with the labiaplasty?
Honey, you're about to serve up the whole old folks home with your spaghetti ass fucking lips.
Roast beef between your legs.
Anyone for Thanksgiving dinner? I got roast beef.
I got ham.
What would I ask 80-year-old me?
Yeah.
Girl, where did you get off? I don't fucking know.
Really?
Where'd you get that orthopedic bed?
What are we wearing on our feet these days?
Literally.
I feel like I'd have so many questions.
To ask your 80-year-old self?
Yeah.
I don't know what I would ask 80-year-old me. I
feel like I'd have so many questions. Like, I feel like I would want to, like, did we ever go to Ireland? Did we ever go to Iceland? Like, I'd want to know things.
But, like, you'd know that because you're 80.
It's the whole point of asking 80-year-old self a question, because they have all the answers of your life. I'd want to know those things. I feel like it would give me a sense of stability and, like, comfort knowing that the things that I feel like are out of reach for me now became in reach at some point in my life. Like, the things that matter the most to me, which is one day going to Ireland or Iceland and, like, doing something that I want to do, but at this point in my life, I can't picture myself ever meeting those things. So I'd want to, like, I feel like I would ask so many things like that.
I know what I think I would say to 80-year-old me.
What?
Is like, look, honey, you made it.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that checks out for your question.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure.
No, that could.
But just,
I guess,
like,
just a conversation. Yeah. What would you say or ask? Yeah.
Yeah. I would say, like, you made it.
Mm-hmm.
And you still have 20 more years to go. So.
Because we're living to 100.
Hopefully you are ready to rip up some fucking serious parties at the old age home. In fact, I don't even know if I want to be in an old age home by the time I'm 80. I think I still want to be gardening. So I need to get this vessel into shape. I want to be like Julia's grandma.
Oh, slinging pottery.
That's to still be making her own bread from scratch. I want to be that bitch.
It's like all of my
I've never been that bitch, but, like, you know what I mean.
You don't.
I want to be capable.
Yeah.
Ready, able, and willing every day.
Yeah.
You know? That's what I want. But yeah, I would say to myself is, you fucking made it. Mm-hmm. All while breaking ancestral fucking trauma chains. Mm-hmm. Yeah, girl.
And current trauma chains.
Yeah, like, I probably got a lot of trauma by the time I'm 80.
Yeah.
But, like, I'll know how to work through it.
Yeah. Because I feel like the ancestral trauma chain has really followed you into current life.
Yeah, like, I was placed on this earth with some sort of purpose, as everybody else, as everybody is, I believe. Mm-hmm. And I truly believe that I was brought here to break ancestral fucking chains of trauma bonds and selfishness and selflessness and all the things. I feel like that's my purpose, and to shine my light that I was so blessed to be given. Yeah.
I feel like the part of your life that kind of fuels the and all that stuff, like, I feel like those parts of your life, you, like, when you say your purpose was to break that, I think you're, like, the ideal person to be taking the brunt of it, because you handle it very well, but you also are very good at standing your ground and knowing, like, your worth and what you deserve and outcomes out of certain things that you're very good at.
Yeah.
being able to handle that. I have no more questions.
That's great. I think that was a great first episode. Thank you so much. You were actually very good at that. Want to be my co-host sometimes? That'd be great. Just prop up a stool and...
It's really kind of nerve-wracking being the question asker.
It is.
Yeah.
But I think we did great.
Yeah. It was really hard to try to think of questions that I feel like will engage conversation.
Your questions are super engaging.
Good.
Thank you so much.
You're going to have to do that next.
I wanted to wrap up the podcast by reading a little message from someone in our inbox.
We already have one of those.
But because I don't have anybody in our inbox, I won't right now. But future
call a friend.
Future me is manifesting that people will be in our DMs with a little juicy story to share.
Those 10 viewers start sending over some things.
Yeah. So because I don't have those DMs to touch on right now, that's what's exciting. That is what's upcoming for this podcast. This first season is probably going to be about 12 episodes long. So stay tuned. We've got lots of friends coming on and subjects, juicy topics to touch on. And we hope to see you guys in the comments. And that's all for now. And just remember, it's all okay.